So most of you probably already know that our next short film, Asylum Groove, is coming out in the next couple of months. What you didn't know is that the film is actually based on a film challenge by Nate over at Nate's Film Tutorials. We also challenged him and we sat down and we all talked about our projects. If you want to check out a longer interview over on Nate's channel, I've put a card here and a link in the description below.
For those who don't know, the film challenge was to use only one word of dialogue. And most of your films usually deals with dialogue, and we were discussing this before the challenge, but I read the script and it's repeated twice, right?
Yeah, that was our cheat. It's one word repeated a few times.
Yeah, it's still one word.
Yeah, we watched your video a couple of times and went, yep, we can just slightly twist this because you said one word, but we didn't say how many times. But it will be actually more than 2 and more than 3 times he says it, so. A couple of weeks ago, we released the top 100 filmmaking tips video, and Demario has asked a question about tip number 39. Make a playlist for each of your characters to help them get into the role of the character. The reason we make playlists for our characters is because it helps them get into a state of mind. Every film has a different genre and a different feel, so if you're making a horror film, listening to horror music will make you scared, and if we need the actor to feel like they're scared on set, it's a great thing to put music in, let them listen to it, and helps them get into the character. For our short film Backstage, we played 80s music, so it's very bright, it's very vibrant, it's a little bit cheesy, and that's kind of what the film's about as well. So the scene where our main character Dan, when he walks to the car and he's listening to a certain type of music, it's meant to be a little bit sadder because he's like walking away from his dream. So the music really does help them get into the role of the film. So give it a try, make a playlist for your characters and get them to listen to it.
I mean, limitation definitely drives creativity, because if you didn't challenge us to do that, we wouldn't be making this film. We wouldn't have thought about it at all.
Yeah.
We would still be trying to do stuff with a lot of dialogue. And you know, everyone says show don't tell, and this is going to be the perfect representation of it, hopefully. And then it also stretches our creative muscles, because it means we get to concentrate all on performance and production design and cinematography rather than getting out sort of lines.
And I mean, for your challenge, for me, it's, I guess, forcing me out of my comfort zone, because most of the time I can't really find actors, so I'm trying to do everything by myself. And so having I have to do a dialogue scene. I don't know, it's been just a crazy learning process.
We deliberately give you that on purpose, because we spoke about giving each other a challenge, and we thought, right, what can we throw at Nate, which forces him to really think out the box and try to give him a really tasty challenge that he's never done before. And we were thinking, well, if we give him dialogue between 2 people, it's gonna force him to get into the casting process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true.
So ever since we released the Indie Film Sound Guide card, people have been asking for Audio Gains t-shirts, as well as some other merchandise as well. So if you want to get yourselves on redbubble.com, there is a link in the description below. We've put some merchandise on there, and it will help feed our cast and crew on the next film. What element has really cropped up that you didn't expect?
Like staying with the project and try to email people and just try to bring it all together. It's not so much of focusing on the gear, like, oh, what camera am I going to use? Like, that's like the least of my problems.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
You need everything else. Like the camera's fine.
Like, what about location? What about wardrobe? Like, those things, and even lighting is just more important and more focused than what camera I'm going to use.